That's just how I look at it. Cause first I saw it as a diss, and I was like, and I know, bro, like he don't that smoke. Wayne, he don't think Kendrick want that smoke. I think he do, but I think he barking up the wrong tree. It's your boy OG Cello, you know, Humble Soul. Y'all know what the fuck we do.
So we
It
roll.
be burning like a motherfucker. They got wax in here. You don't know nothing about that.
Nah, not at all, man. We're taking it from the top though, so we back again. AHumbleSoul, Mr. Marcelo. This probably like what, the fourth or fifth conversation.
Ain't no telling. We be having so many conversations off the motherfucking camera too. So.
Nah, for sure, man. It's good to see you again. You know, flying. You know, you fly as always.
Return to the big homie.
Yeah. Return to the big homie, man. Hey,
New Orleans.
Two projects in less than 2 weeks. I see uploaded.
I dropped them on the same day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the dates they show differently on Apple.
Yeah,
but you said they both old, or they kind of old.
Nah, not like New Orleans is like it was online and people kept asking for it. Like New Orleans, like a compilation. Return to the Big Homie is just something I was supposed to put on.
Return to the Big Homie 2. So it's the second installment.
But I've been supposed to do that. Like I still in the hole. I still got Godfather 2, and I'm working on Ola.
Man, the last conversation we had, I think the last couple of times we chopped it up, you mentioned Ola in particular. But when I saw these two projects, I'm like, you just got music in the
I was warming them up.
So is it like because you took a brief hiatus that you just wanted to come back and just flood them, or what's the deal with just the multiple releases around the same time?
What I'd say, bro, you know what's crazy? I realized I hadn't dropped an album in like 4 years. Like sometimes you'll be so, and then when we doing podcasts and all kind of other shit, like I ain't realized like I wasn't doing, like I had the music because I was doing it, but I wasn't dropping the shit. So once I seen I really wasn't dropping it, when I look back, I was like, we might as well double down on it. And fuck, it worked out.
No, for
I mean,
sure.
both albums doing good as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, other motherfuckers talk about how music ain't selling and all that kind of shit. That's not the case.
Yeah, how is it for you at this point in the game? It don't seem like, at least on the outside looking in, that music is just your day-to-day bread and butter. But so still in the streaming era, it's different from the physical copies. You know what I'm saying? You can hand to hand and buy in bulk, and you get like $8 and $9 for a CD or something like that at that time versus the streams. Like how
different? It's different in the game, but what I can say is like it's consistent. Like, you know what? Probably where I used to just get big checks and not just consistently nice checks, but it's consistent. Just for the streaming shit, like that's a whole nother story because I understand why it happened the way it happened. Like it's the streaming systems who didn't make a deal with our publishing companies. That's why we get the small amount of money we get. Because our publishing companies didn't think streaming would work. So I've been doing that since back in the game. So that's why the deals are like this when it comes to that kind of business.
Man, so like just money off music in today's climate versus in the early 2000s, what would you say is like one of the biggest independent checks you got at that time? If you can
like,
reflect.
listen, you got to understand this, right? So when I was doing, anytime I was like, you got to think about the biggest check. It's always the priority check with the no limit shit, right? But after that, it wasn't no more money. Now with the streaming shit, like you make that shit in a year, and it's constantly coming. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like they just like it's like priority give you one check, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't really make. In that time we wasn't really making no money off you wasn't going back getting no other checks.
Now that's why I asked you as far as like independently, because I know independent artists, you would see somebody like Slim Thug living like he was a multi-platinum artist.
But it's kind of the same way when it comes to streaming too, because like the Return to the Big Homie is 7,500 pre-orders. Like it's fucking. I had heard about major artists who ain't sell 5,000 the first week. Right? I had 7,500 before I even put the shit out.
That's
the quickest I put the shit up. But I allowed them to do pre-order. See, I ain't even do that with New Orleans, so I don't know what New Orleans would do. But I did the pre-orders because I ain't have nothing out in so long, so I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some pre-orders. And then I was just giving them samples of the music. Like I was letting them hear shit. Like on these new projects, like what I learned is like, I'm not really, like people be excited for music when they hear it. So I'm not on Instagram like letting you hear samples and all that, unless I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just drop that shit and let it get the effect. And shit, that would work.
But so when you do like the freestyles over the
I just be letting you
or the
know
verse,
I'm back and rap.
those don't be like snippets from.
Nah, that'd be like anytime you ever see me on Instagram or something with that shit, I wrote that shit. Like I don't freestyle, I write.
I mean,
that shit.
maybe I shouldn't say freestyle, but spitting the verses.
But
though.
that ain't no verses. You'll never hear them verses again. Like I don't like reuse them.
Yeah.
Like you know that be how I'm feeling at the moment. And when you see that, you know I'm in rap mode. Like every now and then, like I just see some shit and be like, let me just show these niggas I still got it.
Nah, for sure. Man, speaking about, Return of the Big Homie too, I was telling you off camera that it's a handful of songs that I was vibing to listening to the project. And then on New Orleans, I didn't really see the names listed as far as features. It seems like you was giving, up and coming artists in your city, man, a shot to kind of expose their talent, share their talent with the world. I guess some known, some unknown, but
most of them dudes known now.
they didn't see me just listening to them.
Because it's like, see, when it was uploaded the first time, it was like that. But then when they got re-uploaded, I guess they didn't. But I got what you call them list of everybody that's on there. But it's everybody on there. Like I just decided to grab all the youngsters at that time. Like I was fucking with all of them that do it, like Nino Calvin, TY, Lil Soldier, Lil Jewel, Jay Jones, Junior Montana. Like it was just buns. It was just so many of them, right? But I always wanted to executive produce an album. So what I did was I just picked all the beats and got everybody to come to the studio by me. Like that's probably the last project I ever did like that, where I was able to get everybody to just come to one studio. And we made some crazy shit. Yeah. Like it's so many people on there now. B3, Willow, like man, it's Gunna. Like, it's so many people on there who made some, and it's classic records, Miss T, like Wing, BTY Young'n. Like, it's not nobody on that motherfucker who, like, it's just like a lot of motherfuckers who I just had around me and I just saw their talent. So I just said, let's put an album together.
Yeah. Speaking, so the BTY Young'n, I know
yeah, we did this before he passed.
Yeah, he was killed. You had a personal relationship with him?
I was the homie. Damn sure, yeah. Like, I was supposed to sign, like, I was working on a project with Calliope. And my OG Stepper brought BTY Young'n to our house. Like, I recorded one of his first songs. I know he still got that bitch in the archive. Like, I know I still have it. Track at it. He recorded that bitch at my house. But I was working on Vault. And Stepper knew, like, I always had a studio in my house and all that. One time, Stepper, OG out the Magnolia, he just came over there with it.
He came over with BTY.
Me and BTY always had a great relationship though. Like always, even when like me and Mina used to like Mina called me when he tripping, and I called Mina when he tripping. Like you know what I'm saying? Because we just had different proposals with him.
No, for sure. Seemed like he had the potential, man.
Definitely. It's a lot of them. Listen, bro, it'd be a lot of them that dudes in the city who had the potential. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, just to get into it, man, since the last time we spoke, it's been a Hot Boys reunion. It took place during the Louisiana Festival, Wayne's annual
Wayne the G for that.
Concert, man.
Wayne the G for that.
Yeah, they gave the fans.
It's crazy how it take the little brother to bring them all back together.
Hey. He made it happen though. He said he wasn't doing it without Turk. You see Turk,
I fuck with that though.
BG, Juvie, Wayne all on the stage together. Big Thomas too.
I fuck with that.
Were you able to attend the concert?
I swung through.
Talk about that experience, man, and you seeing them come together on stage.
I think we all just was like excited to see them together. Definitely excited to see them together. Like you got to imagine, like a lot of us grew up off that shit. So to see them together, not only to see them together, like to see them vibing the way they was vibing, you could tell it was back the whole time. Like that's why you stay out niggas' business, let them figure it out. Even like in all of them friends, but when partners get into it, you gotta stay out niggas' business. So especially if you're not connected to it, stay out motherfucker business. Cause once they get that shit back together, you gonna be the one they mad at. But I expected this to happen. I know our niggas in New Orleans is.
Explain that.
We get into it with our partners. Like we have those, and all us talk back. Like we'll say the worstest shit to each other and feel no kind of way about it. Because that's just kind of like how we talk. But niggas will fix it once they able to have a conversation, especially if it's about some money. Like nigga ain't gonna pass up no money. Like you could think that. Not no nigga from New Orleans. Dude, that shit gonna get figured out. And it don't matter like who figure it out, but somebody gonna figure it out.
Yeah. I know the last interview I asked you what your thoughts was on the BG and Turk grip. You said it was family business. You said, but you would love to see the Hot Boys reunion. Yeah.
Boom.
And it happened. And you was actually able to attend, man. During that concert, we also saw, you know, Lil Wayne, Master P came out on stage, you know, and for one, he acknowledged and called Lil Wayne the greatest rapper alive, a greatest rapper of all time. On top of that, he said that he was going to be the first person to have a star. The New Orleans Walk of Fame, kind of similar to, you know, Hollywood Walk of Fame in Cali.
I can't wait to see this.
You know, what was your thoughts on that, especially considering the past between No Limit and Cash Money?
I don't think, like, listen, check this out, right? Like, I don't think the problem, like, it's business now. Them dudes older, like, they on some, everybody on some money shit. So I don't think the problem, like, as big as people make it. But I think sometimes people instigate the shit. Like, they'll try to instigate the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it really ain't nothing there, motherfuckers be looking for something. But, like, what me and you talked about off camera was how I said about the ambassador. Like, you gotta, when you put somebody as ambassador of music, that's what we were discussing. You was asking me about P being, like, the ambassador of the music for the Super Bowl. And I was like, P a hell of a businessman, right? But if you talking about ambassador of music, like you gotta look at, like P really kind of stepped away from music. So I think a lot of us just expected it to be stunt. The same way we expected Wayne to be in the Super Bowl. So we just be like, it's us having certain expectations, but some shit just makes sense.
Yeah. Do you agree with him though? You said on one end, I want to ask you about the Super Bowl halftime performance, Kendrick Lamar being selected. But before that, you know, just do you consider Wayne, man?
Come on, bro, I'm from New Orleans.
That don't mean
we're not doing that.
We see who you tied to though.
We're not doing that. You know, like Wayne's supposed to be there.
Oh no, I'm not even talking about Super Bowl performance. I'm saying, do you consider him to be the greatest rapper alive?
Definitely. Why you looking like that?
You don't feel like Kendrick can get him, man?
You lost. Like, listen, bro. Like, I think what people feed into is like kind of now, right? Wayne didn't really been in relax mode, but ain't no lyricist like that dude, bro. You're lying to yourself. Like, if let's just do this, right? If both of them quit today and you compare both of you compare the catalog, like, it won't even match up.
Nah, not this discography or just the overall impact. Wayne, I think in like 05 or something, he had so many songs on the radio just from features. Everybody wanted him on the track. It ain't like that with a Kendrick Lamar. Not saying he's that type of artist anyway, but just the impact overall and just the longevity. Obviously, Wayne was doing it a lot longer.
Exactly, and the impact still, like, it's a lot of it. You like, listen, bro. I like Kendrick, but you gotta understand this. It's not a lot of baby Kendricks. You see any baby Kendricks?
Not like mainstream.
Where them baby Wayne's at? Man, everywhere.
Come on, man. And it's not even just style as far as like lyrically, but his image.
All of it.
He had people getting dreads,
that's what I'm saying.
Face tats.
So like, if you compare, what you talking about, the impact? No comparison. Yeah. Lyrics wise, come on.
You don't think so?
Not when Wayne in monster mode, bro. And you saw it. Like, the bad thing is, like, listen, bro. And this was, like, a lot of people got to understand. You saw him do it before, right? What make you think he can't do it again?
I
Like,
don't know, man.
So you honestly think Kendrick compares to Wayne lyric-wise? Nah, I think Kendrick is a good song maker, right? He understands rhyme patterns, so his rhyme patterns are good. Shit like that, right? So you buy more to that than you, and I like how you stick to the West Coast kind of feel, so it sounds fresh. But you buy more into that than you buy into the lyrics.
What I was referring to was more so like battles. I haven't seen Wayne in too many like rap beefs where people are just talking about how he went hard on somebody. You think about like Gilly or Pusha T or I'm sure I'm missing some people, but ain't nobody talking about like this was a memorable diss because he don't even take that approach. However, you know, Kendrick Lamar, he released his GNX album, and on the first song on the album, he mentions how he feels like his success and him being selected for the Super Bowl halftime performance let Lil Wayne down because Lil Wayne expressed how he thought he was gonna be the one to be picked, just like you was mentioning that.
Why would you? All right, let me. I'm gonna put this in perspective.
I was gonna make a point.
Right, quick, right. Go ahead if you had something else to say, but I was just wanted to tell you this, right?
Go ahead, do your thing, man.
Who would you be worried about you disappointing? Somebody you look up to or something, right? All right. That shit really be there in the discussion on it. Because if why are you even worrying about as a motherfucker, if he's that big, then why you even worrying about who you disappointing? Because that's somebody you look up to. That's just how I look at it. Because first I saw it as a diss, and I was like, and I know, bro, like that smoke, Wayne, he don't think Kendrick want that smoke. I think he do, but I think he barking up the wrong tree. That's just me, bro.
The reason I was saying it is because
like Wayne, we knew all them niggas who really got balls. Like we knew all the niggas who have really got into lyricism so much to where we on. Like, remember how New York used to be with all that shit? Like, as in, they were the lyricists.
Oh, for sure.
Like, Wayne took that shit to a whole nother level, bro. So, like, Wayne made his response. So, wait to be something, let's see.
Yeah, he said, don't take kindness for weakness, man. He said, man, just let me rest, man. Yeah, you don't want it in so many words, but people were saying that he could have overreacted from that. Like
I overreacted. Remember I told you I sent all kind of tweets up.
Oh, you want to the viewers?
I told you, you should tweet. Because I was just on something like, ain't no disrespect in the way. We're not tolerating no disrespect. Because sometimes you react off things. That's how I reacted off when I first heard it. Then after I listened to it, I put it in perspective.
Like, it ain't no diss.
Nah, this ain't that.
But it's just.
But you can't tell another nigga how to feel.
Nah, for sure.
Period. So
yeah.
I can't tell Wayne it ain't no diss. If that's how he feel, that's how he feel.
And then if you really think a little deeper, who did they say he beat in the battle? Drake tied to Lil Wayne, Young Money, so it's still like guilty by association almost. So it's gonna look a certain way because you threw that in, and then it's the first song on your project too.
I think it's just good strategy.
Yeah,
like, man. I understand marketing and advertising and all that kind of shit. Like, a lot of that shit don't really move no niggas. But
you said bar for bar, you think Wayne will come out victorious?
Easily.
Man, speaking of, like hip hop, man, and Lil Wayne in particular, you done talked about how you had relationships or just history, grew up around people like Juvie, Turk, BG, but Cash Money during the early days that you used to see Wayne or be around Wayne before Spitter even got down with him,
Like, Stunning them used to be around. Like, you got to remember, like, all this shit was damn near shot in the project, around the project or something. Them dudes was around. So you saw everybody. And you got Turk from the projects. Turk used to be back there every day. BG hang back there. Jew was from back there. Like everybody was around. Like I think that's what made them. You can say the same thing about No Limit, but that's why we were so connected to them because we saw 'em. Like they wasn't no people who you just see on TV. You see them niggas on BET, then you see them niggas in the cold.
Yeah, they were accessible.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was gonna ask you if you had it, cause you like one of the kings of the stories, man. If you got an Untold or a Lil Wayne story you can share. I know you mentioned being at the strip club that time, or some club in Miami, when y'all was walking to a tour bus and.
Oh no!
Yeah, but
I know what you're talking about.
But I didn't know if
right?
you had a different, like a Lil Wayne story, man, from back then. Just looking at his rise and elevation, you know, he never stopped, man. It seemed like he was the one person who worked for years until he finally got that just due and crossed over too.
Definitely.
As a solo artist, after everybody left, all the other hot boys left, he stayed and, you know, held it down, and then blew up after that though, with the Carter 2, etc. You know what I'm saying?
I think Wayne was built for that shit though. Like, one thing you could say about like what I know about him and Spiller, them they smart. Like they way more intelligent than you would think. So they rap, their music just be different. They be on another level. As far as a story about Wayne, bro, let me trip you out. So I don't know what holiday it is, but one day Wayne and Mac, this one Wayne up too. Like I'm talking about doing all kind of shit like that. And Wayne and Mac come to Jet Lounge one night.
You talking about Mac Main?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me and Spiller in there, right? He pop up on Spiller. Him and Spiller always have a great relationship. So we in there smoking this shit, right? The nigga Wayne handed me a bag of wood. I hadn't smoked a blunt in probably like 7 years. I hit that bitch. Ooh, Spiller drag from me. And he always used to say it like that. Yeah, you always talking about you don't smoke the blunts no more. Bitch, you hit it when Wayne handed that bitch to you. And it was just fun as a month. But I really hadn't smoked a blunt in like fucking 7 or 8 years.
Straight papers.
Straight papers. And Wayne handed me that bitch and I just hit that bitch.
You gonna tell him no? You know what I'm saying? Like it's Wayne.
We just was so much in a conversation. Like I don't think it was that. Like we just running it and all that. But Spiller happened to see this shit because I could have played like I ain't never hit it or something. Spiller saw that shit, boy. That was the funniest shit.
Yeah, he talk about kicking you out of Jet Life. Then he was like, man, nah, man, it's a no blunts rule,
like,
man.
Hit that bitch for Wayne now. Cause you know Young be hard on not smoking no blunts. It's super hard, bro.
I mean, speaking of that, do you prefer, you personally, without going with the movement, man, as far as like Wiz, Currency, that whole time when they was talking about papers, all that, man. Like you personally being a real deal stoner, do you prefer, you know, joints overall, or does it vary with the bongs, or you doing edibles?
Well, I don't fuck with no edibles. You don't know when you're high. I don't fuck with them. Like, but like you don't realize that black shit you be spitting out when you be smoking them blunts. Like them bitches is harsh, bro. That's what I realized. Like them bitches, and then I don't know. Like joints, the best thing I transferred to. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, definitely. Cause you gotta think, man. I was smoking when we were smoking swishes and optimals and keep moves and all that shit, man. Like I mean, they used to have the fucking the swishes with the tip on them. We used to cut them with and cut the tips off. Like I've been smoking for a long fucking time.
Blunts.
Fucking blunts, bro. I've been smoking blunts longer than I've been smoking.
That's what I'm saying. So was it?
Tearing my fucking body up.
So did you follow suit?
I think like I told you one time, me and Spitter went on tour and I ain't had no blunt, and he ain't stopped. Like we went all the way to Miami, so I ain't smoked no blunts all the way to Miami. Cause he was just. I haven't told you about that. I think it was.
No, I don't think you told me that.
Drive through theater tour or something.
No.
Like it was a time when I was talking about when I was on some fuck rap shit. Like I hadn't got really back in the streets. I was like, man, fuck that rap shit, right? And Spitter called me and told me pull up by Musa, by the shop. I pull up by Musa by the shop, and he tell me get on the bus. The bus started. I got my car outside. And I'm still doing shit, like I'm hustling this shit, like, right? I got the fucking bus take off. I'm like, we sitting back there talking. I'm like, where the fuck we going? He like, we going to Miami. We about to go on tour. I'm like, man, I ain't got no clothes. My fucking coat in front of the door. I got all kind of shit going. He like, we gonna buy everything we need. Tell somebody to go get your car. And get somebody to take care of everything else you need. That's when I started the OG Love That OG series.
On tour with him?
Yeah, because like one day we sitting on the back of the bus and that nigga I was like, man, look, cause I wasn't really on the rap shit no more. I was like, look, he was just getting he was getting the Jet Life Apparel shit going. I was like, look, bro, what you need me to do? Like, you need me to get with Musa, help him with the management, you want me to help with the marketing, with the apparel, like what you want me to do? And he was like, you tripping, you need to rap. I was like, hey, you know, this shit kind of getting old. That nigga say Snoop Dogg still rapping, he's still relevant. So what I took from that is I just had to change the kind of shit I was saying. That's when I started the OG Love That OG series. That's what I started that shit from. I started recording records on the bus. But I just thought, because the shit had got bored to me, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was getting older, so all that sliding and all that kind of shit wasn't making no sense. So I had the challenge was just to start putting some game in the shit. And once I did that, I'm like, oh, okay. But that's how I started that OG Love That OG series.
Was Fiend already in the picture by this time?
Definitely. This was like drive-through theater to us, bro. This wasn't that long ago. Yes, this when I did the first OG Love That OG.
But I'm thinking like before that you was already on songs with
this is when I started the OG.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You kind of see what I'm saying? Like we was already doing records and shit. Like I was.
But it wasn't serious. You went full-fledged.
I was just getting off of music. Like I wasn't on it like that. You'll see me step in every now and then to do a few verses. But what you wasn't on, I was in the fucking streets. Like when you hearing me on movie writers, business, and the gangsters and all that kind of shit, like, wow, I was in the streets. You ain't never saw me on tour with Spit or none of that shit. So I was just dipping in doing verses because I had so much other shit going on, fighting cases and all kind of stupid shit like that. But I had so much other shit going on.
Man, you know what it seemed like to me when I was, listening to them projects, just around that time, the whole climate, you almost came across like the muscle for Jet Life and Currency, because he didn't necessarily rap when he had transitioned to that whole phase, talking about getting fly.
Because he always, like, it
he
just
used to mention you,
right?
though. Oh,
like, anytime, a lot of people will say, like, and I used to tell people that, I say, anytime that nigga mention guns or something, who gonna slang that bitch, he gonna say me. But, like, he was, at that time, like, he was really being himself. And I was really in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So he really started making it cool for motherfuckers to really be themselves. Like saying, look, bitch, I probably don't do you nothing, but you better watch this nigga on side me. And then at that time, like, I was defensive. Like, I used to stay, like, he used to always be like, you tripping. I used to be like, no, I ain't. Like, I just used to be in that mode because I used to be looking at things like I know how easy a motherfucker could become a fucking fish to a shark. Like, I'm round shark, so I know how these niggas move. So I used to be defensive on a lot of motherfuckers. Like, I think, like, me and Moose used to be like that, though. Like, Moo protected him as in his relationships and watching motherfuckers. And I was just like on some, whoever wanted, we really gonna get out. But it was just that, at that point in time, that was the zone I was in. Like, you gotta think, like, I'm coming out the projects. And it's not like I wasn't making money off music, but that street money was something, it was something totally different.
Yeah. Man, I want to ask you, taking it back, like you speaking, being honest, at one point in time, you really had jumped full-fledged back into the trenches and kind of put music to the side, more of a hobby than your day-to-day like job. But man, on your project Return of the Big Homie 2, it's a song you got with Fiend, and on your verse you rap about, like pretty much legal issues and all of that gunplay violence ain't nothing foreign to you. You said that you were 16 with a murder charge, and they let you out, I guess, after 90 days, that 90-day rule?
That's how I used to go in the city.
So what was the circumstances behind that situation back when you were 16 when you got charged with murder?
It was just something I got picked up on the project that motherfuckers said I did that I didn't do. But like, you know, like that shit, like, it was common for us in the project. Like for a motherfucker who was hustling and you was always outside, like you was gonna get into some kind of shit. And then at the time when I was rapping, like any little thing would swing me out of music.
What you mean when you said that? Like you weren't fully
if
focused?
If something go on in the streets, I get with the music on bars. It wasn't, when I was younger, it was never the streets on bars of going through music. You know what I'm saying? I was more or less like, because the streets always was fed me. I knew where I was, one thing I knew, I could always go back to the streets and get some money. So I always kept making my presence felt in them motherfuckers just in case I needed to go back.
Yeah. But you said, so they picked you up and held you for 90 days though? Mm-hmm. So you didn't have to go through the whole getting an attorney, like and all the legal fees.
In New Orleans, what happened was this, bro. If it was like in the 90s, it was like this. If they ain't have no evidence on you in 90 days, you was going home. Like it was it's just laws was crazy back then. Just the way shit went in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think I heard gangster say that.
There's a lot of motherfuckers that came home off that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling you, like, as into youth, it sounds like it's so. But to a motherfucker in New Orleans, like you could be picked up. All the motherfucker gotta do is mention your name or say you was around or some shit like that.
But you know what's so crazy about it? If you think about all the people incarcerated right now or have dealt with this just being wrongfully convicted and doing like 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and then you see they come out and get this lawsuit money and all of that, you know.
Boy, a lot of motherfuckers don't get that money. Boy, it takes so much money, it takes so long to get that money back.
But I'm just saying, think about it, like you got picked up for a murder. You spent 90 days incarcerated.
That's me and 1,000, probably 10,000 niggas in the world.
The point I was gonna make though is that you could have lost your life in them 90 days though. You know, God forbid. I'm just saying, you know, people get killed, in jail and in prison too.
You think them people gave a fuck about that?
I'm just saying, that's how messed up the system is.
Right.
It's crazy, man. But I know that stood out to me because I don't feel like we ever spoke about that. Like you actually going away at 16,
Like it's like, and during my time, bro, I just never been convicted of that. I was stupid. I used to go to jail for all kind of stupid shit. But like running from the police, like it's just everyday routine shit. But I just never got convicted of nothing. That's why I was always able to carry a legal gun.
Man, that's so surprising to me too. Like
a lot of people said that.
Like New Orleans, though, it seems like in just the area you came up in, Third Ward, Uptown, Magnolia, that's like a hot spot from what I understand back then for like violence, And
nah, it was a lot. That city was a hot spot. It was other motherfuckers in other hoods going through the same shit.
But I'm just saying, like, it seems like it'd be important for you to have something to protect yourself. And a lot of times people are not doing that legally. So it's just crazy to know that you was able to avoid even getting caught up like that.
Like I had a fucking stepdaddy, bro, who was a police.
Oh, okay.
Right? Right. And he used to always, and he fought a lot for me, you know what I'm saying? He knew judges and shit like that. But that's who put me on.
Cheat code.
That's who put me on illegal gun shit. But I've been having illegal guns since I was 21. Like I've been through charges and shit though where they told me turn them all in. And once I beat the charge, I go get them. Like you go get them back from the DA and all that kind of shit. But I've been having illegal guns since I was 21 years old.
Do you feel like the accessibility and just how lax the laws can be in certain areas when it comes to like purchasing guns or carrying guns is the issue, or is it more so responsibility of the owners?
Man, guns don't kill people, people kill people. So like you can't, everybody, if you could bear arms, you better bear them. But I don't think like if you talking about like as in when it comes to shit like it's bigger than that. Like we gotta figure out like I've always been on some shit even when I was talking that shit with like people in the city. Just on some how violent that bitch was. I was like, oh, the biggest thing we gotta find out is where the fuck these guns coming from.
Where they
That's
coming
the
from?
biggest
Yeah.
issue. Like, fuck everything else. Like, because the kind of guns them dudes got, people not buying them guns, they not breaking into people's cars to get them guns. Like, we lying to ourselves when we think that.
That's happening too, though. They stealing guns, man.
I'm not saying that they not stealing guns, but the kind of guns these little dudes be having,
With
bro,
them switches and all that. Man, they
it's not
came
shit
out
that
of
they
nowhere.
breaking in the cars getting. Where them bitches coming from? I think it's a big issue. Them bitches too available. Like, them bitches used to be available in our time, boy, not. Them bitches too available, bro. I be seeing them little niggas with guns I ain't never saw a day in my life.
And don't even really
And I
be
love
knowing how to shoot them correctly. I ain't going to no
They
trip.
figured out what they doing up shooting in their head, all that kind of stupid shit.
Yeah.
But at least against that, you'd rather have you something against that motherfucker.
Yeah. But I was just curious because I know you talked about in the past, like how you personally like guns, but overall, everybody's not probably as responsible as you are. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm responsible because of the people I've been around and me having them bitches so long. And I done made stupid mistakes with it before. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You ever shot yourself?
Fuck no.
I remember when
That's
Wayne
the
said.
dumbest mistake. It ain't no in the way I'm shooting myself. I'd shoot everybody else before I shoot me. Trust me. Nah, that bitch ain't doing that.
Yeah. I know you said you made some mistakes. I'm like, yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't make some mistakes myself.
What,
man.
you shot yourself?
Did I shoot myself?
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
but you know,
look, What, you almost shot yourself or something. I could tell how you look.
nah, man, but I did let a shot off inside of my apartment before
That happens, though.
with a shotgun.
That happens, though.
On the, I'm glad I was on the first floor though,
Yeah, that happens.
cause it went through the, it went through.
That happens. That probably didn't happen to me when I was younger. The gun just went off. But not since I got older. Like, you gotta know how to handle that bitch right. When I want this bitch to blow, it's gonna blow.
Yeah, I don't even play with them. But I mean, speaking of that, man, like back during the '90s, you know, murder capital, you was able to survive all of that. But I'm sure you probably done lost a lot of people. You know, not just relatives, but like friends, either closely, directly, or from
definitely.
a distance to gun violence. But were you personally ever affected by it around that time? Like as far as like getting shot or shot at?
See, bro, like this was the thing with me, like, right? I was a hustler, known hustler. Like motherfuckers knew I liked money. Like I fucked with women. Like I was on some fly shit. But if it came to it, nigga, and I used to like to fight. I was a fighter, like a motherfucker. I always say I used to have so many fights. Like, it used to be a shame, but I just used to like to fight. That's where I come from. Period. Like, but if it came to that bitch, me slaying it wasn't no problem. But I wasn't no nigga who was like running around robbing, jacking, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a fucking hustler. I was trying to figure out how to get some money. I was fucking with some bras. I was going to get some clothes or some shit like that. I was trying to buy a car, so I was more into that shit. But you know, I had a lot of partners who everybody went their own ways with shit. Like people roll with what they feel like they perfect. I knew I was a good hustler and I had a hell of a mouthpiece. It wasn't that I felt like I couldn't do the other shit, but I went on the route of what I was doing.
No, I
But
understand.
I lost.
Yeah.
Like, to even look back at the kind of motherfuckers I lost, we've all lost a lot of motherfuckers, but growing up in that project, like, it just was a different ballgame thing. Like, you lose motherfuckers that you look up to, like.
But I'm thinking like even you being a smooth person like that and being more focused on making money and having a player type of lifestyle, dealing with women and all of that, that's gonna have a lot of people
No, I've been shot.
develop some type of jealousy or envy.
I've been
you know?
shot.
You know.
I mean, like, it happens. I've been shot, but like, jealousy will come like this. Like, I move different when it comes to my money. So I know a time when I first signed with the Calliope, like a lot of people on my project wasn't fucking with that. But I was on my money. Like, and like it's certain motherfuckers who got it. Like, for instance, Stone understood it, told me go get it. So like, you know, when there's certain motherfuckers who feel like that and you already feeling like that. But I like, and to say this, like everything, it wasn't motherfuckers like more mad. I think motherfuckers was more disappointed. But people had to understand, like I was going where the money was. I was a fucking hustler. You know what I'm saying? Cause even like during the times when like the Cali and the Magnolia were beefing, like I got godkids in the Cali, like my godfather from the Cali, so like a lot of that, when it came down to some of that shit, didn't affect me. Especially when it comes to like the times as in laid off in the game. Now early off in the games it did because I told you like we was all on Willow. Like no matter what, do anything like nobody wasn't coming on Willow doing nothing too stupid.
Y'all family.
It just wasn't happening. Period. Like that's why like with people could say a whole lot of shit about Willow, but we was a real family. Well, it wasn't really no happening. Like it's like just coming on that bitch, it just was a different ball game. But everybody got those kind of spots in their project. Like you come down Willow, we know one thing: you hit that fucking hump wrong,
You ain't from there.
we on your ass. You ain't from there. So that it was a different ball game and shit like that. But I was a stone ball, bro. I always been about money. Period. That was the first thing I want. I want some money. So get some more of it.
The disappointment was more so you not signing with Cash Money?
No, because because like it wasn't like a Cash Money no limit thing, right? The thing was I signed with Tough Guys, so this before. Like you gotta understand, like I signed with a Calliope label before we went to NOLA.
Oh, I'm thinking mainstream,
Nah,
major. Okay.
once I got the like it wasn't nothing when I'm with No Limit.
Yeah,
like
the
niggas
dodo,
just like go get it, seller, get your bread. But like I just had this signed with a Calliope label. But what people didn't understand was that was my godfather label, Victor. It just him and Doe happened to be tight, and Doe ended up being the president of the label. But I was going where the money was at.
Yeah.
I understood that how motherfuckers would feel, and I knew people would get it. I knew eventually people would understand it. Because I was gonna make something out, I knew I was gonna make me a few dollars.
Yeah. You talk about people like Stone giving you the green light, or not necessarily green light, but understanding and supporting you, supporting your decision. Did it ever get intense though? Like people actually confront you about signing to a label from a different hood?
Nah, because what would end up happening is, like a lot of them, what I started realizing was a lot of the people who I really had respect for was some kind of way connected to Doodle. I'm telling you, this shit was crazy.
What's the odds of that?
Bro, like, listen, so OG KC, right? Everybody was like, KC, OG, he still alive to this day, right? Still my OG. But like, K is another one who I really respected. Somebody who like, he was a little bit of nigga, had hands, always had women, always had money, fly as a motherfucker, right? So I kind of catered myself around him, right? One day me and Doe sitting down talking, and Doe said, yeah, man, I ran into KC. I said, what KC? He said, KC, you know KC, he told me to tell you what's happening. I said, you know KC? He said, KC taught me how to fight. So Dodo and KC had been running. Same with Stone. I told you one day we flying out Washington Avenue, right?
Yeah, I was in the Range Rover.
In a Range Rover, we flying on that bitch. Man, nigga see Stone and turn around in the middle of the street. At this time, like I just didn't sign, we had just got our trucks and all that kind of shit. So I don't know the tension because, you know, I ain't been around. Like, we just come from BET and all that kind of shit. Man, nigga parked that fucking truck in front of Lee's tree, him and Stone meet in the middle of the street. I said, ain't this a bitch?
And you reacted that way because of the tension between the two hoods?
Yeah, like it ain't got nothing to do with me. Now, you still got to understand that the hoods are attention.
Man, it's kind of like, if you look at it from today's point of view, something like that can be like, man,
Deadly. In the sense of
you
it,
know what
I
I
was in the crossfire.
mean? Like
I was
you
in the crossfire. I was in the crossfire. Cause if it ever would have went down like like I'm in the most fucked up predicament in the world.
do you know they got the word backdoor now? Like both sides, I'm saying both sides of the spectrum, and either way they can look at you as like a potential threat. They don't know if they can trust you or not because you dibbling and dabbling on both ends. It's like, are you playing both sides, man? But you was able to once again to maneuver through all of that, man.
Because I think motherfuckers understood I was about money.
At the end of the day,
Period. Like niggas knew if that little nigga move, boy, it's definitely about a few dollars. If he moving like it's about a few dollars.
yeah. Have you ever been robbed?
It was robbed like
Like robbed?
in the project. In the project. See, it's crazy. I think Gaylord robbed me one time in the project.
You said who?
Nigga named my old head Gaylord. You know what's crazy about Gaylord though? Gaylord used to give us shit and take shit from us. OG Gaylord, bro. Like and to this day, Gaylord's still alive too. That's my nigga.
And he robbed you?
Yeah, that bitch jacked me when I first started selling rocks.
Oh,
But
this
he
ain't.
gave, no, I ain't like as them being older. That's not happening, man. I don't move without that bitch. If you jacking me, it's gonna be a gunfight. I don't move without my gun, bro. And I know that this bitch gonna go. Like I'm like, bro, I move different, and I move different. I don't put myself in no stupid ass predicament.
No, for sure.
If a nigga I put myself in positions to where I can see it coming. If I see it coming, you might want to understand that you got something to deal with. But like, that ain't happening.
No. So what was the situation back then, though?
Oh, like I was just a young nigga selling rocks. Like Gaylord probably sat under me that whole day and watched me sell all them rocks and took the jacket. Pull out with the big long ass guns. But you gotta understand this, like it's just different back then. Cause look, Gaylord jacked me. But even though he jacked me before, right? He used to give me so much shit it was a shame. Cause he was a robber. So that nigga rob and then come sit on the porch and say, how much you got? But like, I don't know what he on, so I be like, man, I ain't got no money, man, I got like $50. He be like, give me 70, I'm gonna give you a quarter. Then, that nigga used to give us all kind of jewelry, like, Gaylord was a motherfucker, bro. But that was like, so as in that jacket, I think like them times, like sometimes motherfuckers just was sometimes probably feeding their habits and shit.
Yeah, that too.
Like, and I never worried of, like, as in then probably when it happened, in the beginning I probably thought he would do me something, but you know, after we got close, like, it wasn't no, it'll be like, bitch, give me something, I'm gonna take it from you. Be like, bitch, I'm not getting you nothing, you're not taking nothing from me, it's not happening. But we built that shit as in longevity, because it's not, I'm old enough to know, bitch, it's a million niggas you go jack, don't fuck with me. You better leave me the fuck alone. Or you could come to me and you could get whatever you need, because I know once you get right, you're gonna bring me something.
For sure. For sure.
So like, sometimes like it was mutual respect with a lot of the jackers.
No, that's 100, man. What led to you getting, I don't know how many times you actually been shot, but what was the time you say you been shot before?
I was walking in, what led to it was sent. That's all I could figure. Like, but I was walking in the store and I was walking into a corner store, but I saw people that I ain't used to seeing. I gave everybody a dap on my way in. I guess they was trying to hit me in my head, but I got hit in the back of the neck.
They was trying to shoot you in the back of the head?
I would figure that if they hit me in my neck. And I was about 24, I want to say.
Wow. And you never saw it coming?
Oh, no, I did. But I always tell people that, like, I laid on the ground and played dead, because he really could have stood over me. So I laid there. Like, another thing, like, I've been talking about, like, niggas be talking that shit, it's a different game when you smell your own blood. Like, smell your own blood is a different ballgame. Oh, I ain't moved. I heard that ambulance said 1097, letting them know he is something. Then I went to kick. But smelling your own blood is different, brother.
And so no words, no altercation, no nothing. Just somebody just came up and shot you in the back.
After I opened the door to go in the store, he hit me in the back.
You said he could have, because that was a thing back then, I guess.
Oh, he was
Standing
going
over.
to stand over me. I don't know if it was gun jams or what, but he definitely had intentions of it. I could figure.
Damn.
Unless he just figured he hit me. I ain't moved, so I didn't know what he felt. And it was early in the morning. I had nothing on me. I was going to get breakfast.
What ended up happening to the dude?
Who knows?
But how was the recovery for you?
I mean, I wasn't even in the hospital long, bro. Like, what's crazy is, like, the bullet went in my neck and stuck out. Like, I've had some of the best luck in the world.
Yeah. That's crazy. Because I'm just thinking if it could have hit your spine or anything like that.
Man,
Or,
that bitch could have went up.
yeah. Oh, man.
I went in the hospital a week.
Man, yeah. That's a different
Because
type
it didn't
of
actually go through. That's
Still
how I get the
left a
crazy
scar?
ass
Left a, oh, okay. Yeah. That's the only time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
I felt that bitch that time.
they ain't slipping no more. But this is before the
That
rap
wasn't
deal.
even no slipping, though. I was going to get a breakfast. Like, it was early in the morning.
So what do you call that situation then?
I mean, street shit. Come from Florida. Come on, don't go Vlad on me.
You said what now?
Don't go Vlad on me.
We said black. Oh no,
Yeah, I'm
no.
fucking with you.
No,
I'm
I'm
fucking
talking about
with
situation when I say
Nah, it just
slipping.
come, it
Yeah.
comes from somewhere. But
Oh,
I was
nah,
like at that
yeah.
time, like I was in the streets, like
Yeah, you
I'm
told
super
me.
outside, like
Nah, for sure.
you know what I'm saying?
Around was this when you said this was when you were when? How old were you?
I was like 23.
So you was
okay.
already missing Marcelo.
I was fucking with the music, yeah.
Okay, for sure. We check it back in, man. Brief intermission. Any lasting words, man, you want to let them know before we sign off? It's another dope conversation.
Return to Big Homie too. New Orleans. Yeah, I know.